Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Info Girl. And on this channel, we talk about credit cards, personal loans, business credit cards, credit repair, and ways to improve your financial future. So if that's something that you're interested in, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications so you will never miss a new video. Today's video is one I've been excited to make because I know this is something so many of you ask me in the comments. One of the biggest questions I get is, how can I find out how much I'll get approved for without wasting a hard inquiry? And honestly, that is a very smart question. Nobody wants to apply for a credit card thinking they're going to get a $10,000 limit and only get approved for 500, or worse, get denied after taking a hard inquiry. The good news is that there are a few credit card companies that let many eligible applicants see important offer details before they officially accept the account. In some cases, they even show you your credit limit before you decide to move forward. Now, before we get started, I do want to make one thing very clear to you all. Just because a company gives you a pre approval or lets you preview an offer does not mean you're guaranteed to get that card. A pre approval simply means that based on the information available at that time of your application, you appear to meet some of the lender criteria. The lender can still verify your identity, your income, or other information before making a final decision. Also, credit limits are never guaranteed. Two people with the exact same credit score can receive completely different credit limits because lenders also consider factors like your income, your debt, your payment history, your existing credit lines, and their own internal underwriting policies. So throughout today's video, I'm going to explain exactly how these cards work, what credit scores they generally are looking for, whether they use a soft pull or a hard pull, which credit bureau they commonly check, and keep in mind that this can vary by applicant and state, and who each card is really best for. At the end of this video, you will have a much better idea of which card could fit your situation. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. Come on. So let's start with one of the most unique credit cards on the list, the Apple card. Now, even if you're not a huge Apple fan, you should still know how this card works because its application process is different from many traditional credit cards. One of the biggest reasons people like the Apple card is that the eligible applicants can usually see the offer, including the interest rate and the proposed credit limit before they officially accept that account. That means you don't have to wonder afterwards whether you will get approved for 1,000 or even 8,000 if you receive an offer. Apple lets you review it first, then decide if you want to go ahead and accept it. That's a feature a lot of people appreciate. The Apple Card is issued by Goldman. Goldman is the bank that reviews your application and makes the lending decision. Apple provides the experience throughout the Wallet app, but Goldman is the lender. Does it start with a soft pull? Yes. When you apply through the Wallet app, eligible applicants can receive an offer after a soft inquiry. A soft inquiry does not affect your credit score. If you decide you don't like the offer, you can decline it. And according to Apple and Goldman, no hard inquiry is placed just for reviewing that offer. So if you accept the offer and open the account, then a hard inquiry is typically performed. That's one of the reasons this card gets so much attention. Now, if you're wondering what credit score is needed, Apple does not publish a minimum credit score. However, many approved applicants report scores in the mid 600s and above, while stronger approval odds are generally associated with good to excellent credit. Remember, your score is only a part of the decision. Your income, your payment history, your debt to income, recent inquiries, and existing accounts all matter as well. Now, which credit bureau does Apple commonly use? Goldman has commonly been reported to pull TransUnion for many applicants, but the bureaus used can vary depending on where you live in your individual application. That's why it's always a good idea to check all three of your credit reports before applying. The Apple Card doesn't advertise a fixed starting limit. Some people have reported getting a limit as high as $1,000, while others with stronger credit profiles have had reports of $10,000 or even $15,000 or even higher. Your approved limit depends on your overall financial profile, not just your credit score. Now, the Apple Card offers 3% daily cash back with select merchant, 2% daily cash back when you use Apple Pay, 1% daily cash back when you use the physical card. Another nice feature that this card offers is its cash back deposit daily instead of waiting until the end of the billing cycle. Now, one of the biggest advantage, no annual fees. That means you don't have to pay a yearly cost just to keep the account open. Now, the pros of this card: review your offer before accepting, soft inquiry to preview your offer, no annual fee, daily cashback reward, simple app with spending insight, strong integration with Apple. Cons: best experiences for Apple users, rewards are highest when using Apple Pay. Approval isn't guaranteed just because you receive a offer. Who is this card best for? I think this card is best for someone who uses their iPhone regularly, wants to see a potential credit limit before opening the account, wants a straightforward reward card without an annual fee, values a clean, easy to use mobile app. All right, everyone, let's move on with the second card on today's list. And this one is the one that a lot of people overlook. We're talking about the PayPal Cashback MasterCard. Now, if you're someone who shops online, send money through PayPal, or even has a small business that accepts PayPal payments, this card is worth learning more about. One of the reasons I want to include this card is because eligible applicants can go through a pre qualification process before submitting a full application. So that means you may be able to see whether you're likely to qualify without immediately taking a hard inquiry. Now, remember, pre qualification is not the same thing as final approval. The bank is basically saying, based on the information we have today, you appear to meet the basic lending requirements. That does not mean they're promising to approve you, okay? They still have to verify your information before opening the account. That's something I always want you guys to understand because a lot of people hear the word free approval and think they're automatically getting that card. And that's simply not how lending works. Who issues the PayPal Cashback MasterCard? The PayPal Cashback MasterCard is issued by Synchrony Bank. Now, if you watch my channel for a while, you've probably heard me talk about Synchrony Bank because before they issue several popular retails and reward credit cards. Now, Synchrony has been around for many years, and this is one of the largest credit card issuers in the country. Does it start with a soft pull? Well, for eligible applicants, PayPal offers a pre qualification process that begins with a soft credit inquiry. Now, a soft inquiry does not lower your credit score. If you receive a pre qualified offer and decide to continue with the application, Synchrony may perform a hard inquiry before making a final lending decision. So, here is a simple version: soft pull, no impact to your credit score. A hard pull may affect your score by a few points. That does not mean hard inquiries are bad. It just means you shouldn't apply for 10 credit cards in 1 week because lenders can see those recent applications. Again, PayPal does not publish a minimum credit score requirement, but from publicly reported approvals over time, many successful applicants tend to have a good credit score, often in the mid 600s or above. Now, could someone get approved below that? Absolutely, possibly. Could someone with a 750 get denied? Absolutely, because remember, credit score is only one part of the decision. The bank also looks at things like your income, your existing debt, your payment history, recent inquiries, length of credit history, and your overall credit profile. This is why I always tell people not to be obsessed over one magic credit score. If you're wondering what credit bureau do they pull from, it just really depends. It has been reported that they have pulled from TransUnion, Experian, and Equifax. depending on the applicant and where they live. That's why you will see a different answer online. They're not necessarily wrong. Different people can have different experiences. Now let's talk about everyone's favorite subject, the credit limit. PayPal does not promise a certain credit line. Your limit depends on your entire financial profile. Publicly reported approval ranges from a few $100s up to $10,000 or even more. Now, some cardholders with stronger profiles have reported receiving limits well above $10,000, while others begin with a most moderate starting limit, which is at two or three, maybe even $500. The important thing to remember is that a higher credit score does not automatically mean a higher credit limit. Your income matters, your existing debt matters, your income matters, your existing credit limits matter, your existing debt matters, your overall relationship with lenders matter. Now, one thing I like to talk about this card is how simple the rewards are. Now, you don't have to keep up with rotating categories. You don't have to activate quarterly bonuses. You simply earn cash back on eligible purchases. Now, for people who don't like complicated rewards programs, that's a big plus. Another thing I like, no annual fees. So if you're trying to build your credit, annual fees can eat into the value of the rewards you're earning. So having no annual fees makes this card easier to keep long term if it fits your spending habit. The APR depends on your credit worthiness. My advice, don't focus on the APR. Focus on paying the statement balance in full whenever you can. If you pay your balance in full each month, you'll generally avoid paying interest on new purchases. That's where credit cards really become useful tools instead of expensive debt. Now, here's a few pros and cons. Here's what I like about this card. It is a soft pull pre-qualification for eligible applicants. No annual fee, straightforward cashback rewards, good for frequent PayPal users, can help build positive payment history when used responsibly. Now, the downside about this card is pre-qualification isn't guaranteed. You can still receive a hard inquiry if you move forward. Not everyone receives a high starting limit. And if you carry a balance every month, the interest can quickly overweigh the reward. That's true for almost every reward card. Now, who should apply? I think this card makes sense for someone who already uses PayPal regularly, who wants a simple cashback card, prefers checking eligibility before submitting a full application, plans to pay the full balance in full each month. Now, who this card is not for, I would probably skip this card if you really use PayPal, you're carrying high interest credit cards debt already, you're mainly looking for premium travel rewards, you don't have stable income to comfortably manage another credit line. Just remember, just because you qualify for a credit card does not always mean you should open it. Now, before applying, here's a few things I would do. Pay your existing credit card balances down. Make sure that your credit utilization is below 30% and ideally below 10%. Check your credit report for errors. Avoid applying for several credit cards at once. Have steady income information ready. These simple steps won't guarantee approval, but they can strengthen your application. So keep that in mind, you guys. All right, everybody, let's move on to card number 3. And this is the one that gets a lot of attention from people who are newer to credit or rebuilding their credit. We're talking about the Pedal to Visa credit card. Now, what makes this card different is just the rewards or the fact that it doesn't charge an annual fee. What really makes Pedal stand out is that it has historically looked at more than just a traditional credit score for some applicants. So if you've ever gone through it, I don't have a long credit history or my credit score isn't where I want it to be, this is one of those cards people often research because of the different approach. Now, I do want to mention something before we go any farther. Pedal's underwriting process has changed over the last few years, and lenders update their approval standards regularly. So don't assume that because someone on YouTube got approved with a certain score 6 months ago, you'll automatically get that exact same results today. Every application is different. The Pedal 2 Visa is issued by WebBank. Pedal manages their application. WebBank is the financial institution that actually issues the credit cards and makes the lending decision. One of the biggest reasons this card made today's list is because Pedal has offered a pre-approval process and using a soft credit inquiry. That means eligible applicants can check to see if they qualify without immediately hurting their credit score. A soft inquiry simply is a review of your credit that isn't visible to other lenders in the same way a hard inquiry is. So, if you don't qualify, your score generally isn't affected just for checking. If you continue through the process and accept an offer, the issuer may then complete a hard inquiry as part of an opening the account. So again, soft pull first, possible hard pull later if you move forward. Now, there isn't a minimum credit score that you need. Pedal doesn't publish one. Many approved applicants have reported scores ranging from low 600s into the 700s, but there are also applicants who have qualified with limited credit history because Paddle has considered additional financial importance with limited credit histories because Paddle has considered additional financial information for some people. That doesn't mean a 600 automatically gets approved. It also doesn't mean with a 720 automatically qualifies. Approval depends on the full picture. For some applicants, Paddle has elevated things like their income, your spending habits, banking activity, existing debt, payment history, cash flow. Now, that doesn't replace your credit history. It simply gives the lender more information when elevating certain application. And I actually think it's helpful because not everyone has had years to build perfect credit. Maybe you're young, maybe you paid cash for everything, maybe you simply haven't used many credit cards. Traditional scoring models doesn't always tell the whole story. Now, applicants have reported Paddle using Experian in many cases, although credit bureaus isn't guaranteed and can vary based on your location and other factors. That's why I never tell people they only pull from one bureau because that's simply not true for every applicant. Now, Paddle has officially advertised credit limits ranging around $300 up to $10,000 for qualified applicants. Now, remember, that doesn't mean everyone gets $10,000. Someone with shorter credit history might receive a much smaller amount. Someone with stronger income, longer history, lower debt, and excellent payment history may qualify for a higher starting limit. Your credit limit is based on your overall financial profile. One thing people like about Pedal 2 is the reward program. Depending on how you use the card and maintain your account, eligible cardholders can earn cash back on purchases. It's a nice bonus if you are already spending responsibly. Remember, cash back should never be the reason you spend it. Spend what you are already going to spend. Then earn rewards. That's the smart way to use a reward credit card. Now, here's another plus, no annual fee. I love seeing no annual fee cards because it allows you to keep the account open for years without worrying about paying just to have the account open. Long-term credit history can help your credit profile. Now, here's what I like about this credit card. It offers a soft pull pre-approval, no annual fee, rewards program, may consider more than just a traditional credit score for some applicants. Potential credit limits up to $10,000 for qualifying applicants. Now, the downside about this card that I do not like is the approval standards can change over time. Not everyone receives a high end starting limit. Just because someone on social media was approved does not mean you'll receive the same outcome. Everybody credit profile is different. I think the Pedal is a good option for someone who is building credit, has limited credit history, wants a card with no annual fee, likes the idea of checking eligibility first. Who should skip this card? If you already have excellent credit and you're looking for premium travel rewards, or luxury benefits, there are probably better options. Pedal isn't trying to compete with those premium cards. It's designed more for everyday consumers who want a solid reward card while building or strengthening their credit. Now, before you apply, here's what I would do first. Pay down your credit card balances. Make every payment on time. Avoid applying for several credit cards with a short period. Check your credit reports for errors. Your reported income is accurate and that you can comfortably manage another line of credit. Now, one mistake I see people make all the time is applying just because someone else got approved. Do not do that. I see that a lot in the comments. Instead, ask yourself, does this card fit into my goals? Can I pay the balance in full? Will this help me build long term credit? Do I actually need another credit card? Sometimes the best financial decision is waiting another 3 months, paying down debt, and applying later with a stronger profile. Patience can make a big difference. All right, everybody, we've made it to the fourth and final card on today's list. And honestly, this is probably one of the most requested credit cards on my channel. We're talking about the Mission Lane Visa credit card. If you've watched my videos before, then you already know I've covered Mission Lane quite a bit because it's one of those companies that a lot of people rebuilding their credit can come across. One of the reasons people like Mission Lane is because it gives many applicants the opportunity to see whether they have been approved before accepting the card. Now, let's clear something up immediately. When you go through Mission Lane pre-approval process, they're not promising you'll get approved for the card. They're simply saying, based on the information we have today, here's the offer we may be able to give you. That gives you more information before making a decision. I actually wish more lenders would do this instead of making people wonder, instead of making people gamble with a hard inquiry. You at least get an opportunity to see if there's any offers available. Mission Lane issues its own Visa credit cards through its own banking partners. The company specializes in helping consumers establish or rebuild credit. That's why you'll often hear people with fair credit or rebuilding credit talk about Mission Lane. Now, if you're wondering, does Mission Lane start with a soft pull? The answer is yes. Mission Lane website states that checking whether you're eligible for an offer uses a soft credit inquiry, which does not affect your credit score. That's one of the biggest selling points with Mission Lane. You can check whether you have an offer available without lowering your credit score just for looking. Now, if you decide to move forward and accept the offer, Mission Lane may then perform additional verification as part of an opening your account. Make sure to always read the current terms before applying because application procedures can change over time. Now, Mission Lane does not require a certain minimum credit score. However, many applicants who report approvals tend to fall somewhere between the mid 500s and upper 600s, although approvals can certainly happen outside of that range. Now, I want to stop you all right here because this is so important. Please don't hear me say Mission Lane approves everyone with a 580. That's not what I'm saying. Credit score is only one piece of the puzzle. Mission Lane also looks at things like your income, your existing debt, your payment history, your recent delinquents, bankruptcies, credit utilization, identity verification. I've seen people with higher scores get denied and people with lower credit scores get approved. Why? Because their overall credit profiles were different. Mission Lane has commonly been reported to review information from Experian, although the bureaus used can vary depending on the application and location. That's why I always recommend checking on all three of your credit reports before you're applying. If there's an error on your credit, fix it. You don't want an inaccurate collection account causing you an approval. Let's talk about the money, our favorite part. Mission Lane has advertised starting limits up to $3,000 on some of the unsecured cards for qualified applications. Now, will everybody receive $3,000? Absolutely not. Some people may receive a much lower limits. Others with stronger credit profiles and income may qualify for a higher starting offer within the issuer's available range. Again, your income matters, your debt matters, your existing credit limits matters, your entire financial profile matters. Now, if you're wondering, can you get a credit limit increase with Mission Lane? Yes. Mission Lane reviews eligible accounts for possible credit line increases. That doesn't mean everyone automatically gets one, but making on time payments, keeping your balances low, and using the card responsibly can improve your chances of qualifying for future increases. One thing I always tell people, don't max out your card every month, even if the limit is only $500. That doesn't mean you should carry a $495 balance every single billing cycle. Responsible usage is what lenders like to see. Now, depending on which Mission Lane card you're offered, some versions have no annual fees, some versions have no annual fee, while others may include one. That's why it's important to review your specific offer before accepting it. Don't assume every Mission Lane card has the same exact terms. Mission Lane isn't known for having the biggest reward program. This isn't the card I'll choose if I were chasing travel points or luxury perks. This isn't the card I'll choose if I were chasing travel points or luxury perks. The real value here is helping people establish positive payment history and potentially improving their credit score profile over time. Sometimes that's what's worth more than flashy cards or rewards. Now, here's what I like about the Mission Lane. They offer you soft pull pre-approval. It can be a good option for people rebuilding credit, reports to major credit bureaus, potential potential credit line increases for eligible cardholders, straightforward application process. Now, the downsides about this credit card that I do not like, some offers may include an annual fee. The starting limits aren't always high. Interest rates can be very expensive if you carry a balance. And like every lender, approval isn't guaranteed. Now, who should consider the Michelin card? Someone rebuilding credit, someone who wants to check eligibility first, someone trying to establish a positive payment history, someone who's plan to pay the full balance in month, someone who plans to pay the full balance in full each and every month. Who should skip this card? If you already have excellent credit, there are cards much stronger with reward. Mission Lane isn't trying to compete with premium travel cards. It's designed for a different consumer. Now that we've looked at all four cards, let's compare them. If I want the easiest application experience, I'd probably lean towards the Apple card, especially if I already use an iPhone. If I shop online all the time, I'll probably look closely at the PayPal Cashback MasterCard. If I have a thinner credit profile and want a lender that may consider more than just my score, I'll research the Paddle 2 Visa card. If I'm rebuilding after credit mistakes, I'll see whether I qualify for the Mission Lane Visa. Did you guys notice something? I didn't say one card is the best because there isn't one best card for everyone. The right card depends on your financial situation. Now, before we wrap this up, I want to leave you with 5 mistakes I see all the time. Mistake number 1, applying for every credit card you see. More applications do not increase your chances. They often do the opposite. Mistake number 2, ignoring your credit reports. You should know what's on your credit report before applying. Mistake number 3, maxing out your credit cards. High utilization can make your credit profile look very risky. Mistake number 4, only looking at the credit score. Your income, payment history, existing debt, and accounts matter as well. Mistake number 5, believing everything you see online. Just because someone says they got approved with a certain score does not mean you will have the same outcome. Every application is different. Here's what I want you all to remember from today's video. A soft pull can be a great way to explore your options. But don't let the excitement of seeing a credit limit make you forget the basics. Only apply for credit you actually need. Read the terms, pay your bills on time, keep your balances low, and use your credit card as financial tools, not as extra income. That's how you build strong credit over time. If you guys did enjoy this video, make sure that you give this video a thumbs up. because it really helps support my channel. Now, if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and turn on your notification bell because I post videos every single week about credit cards, business credit, personal loans, and credit repair in ways to help you improve your financial future. Now, I want to hear from you all. Which one of these cards would you actually apply for and why? Leave your answers down below in the comments because I read all of my comments every single day. Until next time, thank you all so much, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye.